a Sook doctor arrives on Wallach IX to examine Kasha's body. There is no indication of an accelerant being used, as the heat source seems internal, and Tula is convinced the incident is linked to Kasha's nightmares. The atmosphere of the school is filled with a sense of fear as the acolytes discuss the potential significance of the event. Soon enough, the Sisterhood receives news of Pruwet Richese's death, and it becomes clear that these two events are not an accident. The Mother Superior recognizes this as the foretold warning from Mother Raquella concerning the burning truth. Determined to protect the princess, she heads to Salusa Secundus, leaving her sister Tula in charge. Sister Theodosia accompanies her with plans to gain the princess's trust and become her companion. Tula is also charged with convincing Lila to go through the agony and access the other memory, hoping it will provide the answers they seek. Even though Valia is confident in Lila's chances, Tula feels deeply conflicted about this risky decision because she is the one who raised her. The aftermath of Pruwet's death leaves the palace in turmoil, with Duke Richese fuming over the lack of progress in finding the one responsible. The official story presented to the public portrays the attack as an accident, though this narrative is not fooling anyone. In a private meeting, Desmond reveals to the Emperor that he is responsible for the murder, justifying it as a move to serve the interests of House Corrino. His confession leaves the Emperor stunned. He then declares his loyalty and offers himself as a weapon to eliminate their enemies. Unable to find this acceptable, the Emperor orders his arrest, but chooses to keep the matter concealed for now. On Wallach IX, Tula talks with Lila about the dangers awaiting the Sisterhood and the importance of her going through the agony. It is revealed that Lila is a direct descendant of Mother Raquella, and unlocking the other memory could grant her access to her wisdom. Although she is terrified, especially given her lack of training, she understands the importance of gaining information on how to deal with the incoming danger. Lady Shannon Richese remains relatively indifferent to her brother's death, though she acknowledges it's quite tragic. She has sex with Constantine while getting high on spice, and then they discuss her father's ambitions. Shannon shares that Salusa Secundus is where the imperial throne is, but it is quite useless. True power lies with whoever controls the spice production on Arrakis. She uses her relationship with Constantine for her pleasure, but she also manages to extract critical information about Desmond's recent arrest. The Emperor informs his wife about Desmond, including his belief that the sandworm granted him extraordinary powers. Rather than rushing to destroy him, the Empress suggests they could use him as a weapon against their enemies. Things grow more complicated when Duke Richese discovers the prisoner's existence from his daughter. Driven by a desire to avenge his son's death, he demands answers from the Emperor, but their conversation is interrupted by the Mother Superior. She manages to send the Duke away, and then she accuses the Emperor of hiding the truth about Pruwet, insisting on questioning the suspect herself. Valia gets what she wants, and she finally gets to talk with Desmond. His confidence catches her off guard, as he openly admits to killing both Pruwet and Kasha, justifying it as a way to expose corruption. But despite this, the Emperor is more and more inclined to keep Desmond as a valuable weapon. It seems clear that he wants to get close to the throne, leaving Valia uncertain about her next move, so she decides to meet with one of her contacts to discuss this further. She also meets with Inez to introduce Sister Theodosia, her future roommate. Princess Inez is eager to join the Sisterhood, and Valia recognizes her potential, hinting that she might someday become a reverend mother. Later, when she is in the training room practicing, Kieran Atreides comes in and they have a fighting session. Both of them agree that their romantic relationship should be over. Turns out the Swordmaster is not that innocent. He has acquired schematics for the throne room, and he is secretly collaborating with a group of rebels. Given the monopoly the great houses hold over spice production, their objective appears to be overthrowing House Corrino. Meanwhile, the Empress decides it's a good idea to unleash their newly acquired weapon by putting Duke Richese in his place. He is furious and threatens the Imperial House with military action. Hearing this, the Emperor immediately gives the signal to the guards. Desmond arrives, and without a word, he uses his powers against the Duke. He is ultimately spared when the Emperor gives a subtle nod for Desmond to stop. Valia's secret informant is revealed to be Sister Raquella, the mastermind behind the rebel attacks on the spice harvesters. They talk about their plans moving forward, and Raquella shares that Kasha Richese is one of the rebels who managed to get close to House Corrino. On Wallach IX, Tula continues mentoring Lila and outlines the process of unlocking the other memory. She agrees to help the Sisterhood and decides to follow through, instructed by Tula to follow the light when she's consumed by darkness. During the ritual, Lila ingests the Truth's Air drug, having to neutralize the poison using her body's chemistry. Her lack of preparation leaves her vulnerable, and she is overwhelmed by the genetic memory. She connects briefly with Mother Superior Raquella and manages to get some information from her, but soon she is dominated by the presence of Reverend Mother Dorothea, who reveals herself as Lila's grandmother. Through a vision, she shows how she was killed by Valia all those years ago. She takes control over Lila and tells Tula that she will get her revenge by destroying their hopes. The girl is too weak to fight against it, and she ultimately dies. Returning to the palace after meeting Raquella, Valia wants to speak with the Emperor, but instead she encounters Desmond. He informs her that her privileges have been revoked, and that the Sisterhood is banished from the palace. In a desperate move, Valia tries to force Desmond to take his own life by using the voice, but her power is ineffective against him. Defeated and overcome by fear, Valia leaves the palace, but this battle is far from over.